Good morning. Are you struggling or having any challenge in your business, or currently you're feeling like the economy is a bit on a downtown, you're struggling financially? And to be honest, the math is not mathing as regards to your finances. You can tell that you are struggling and you are just going through a challenge. And this day I just want to encourage you with the proverb that I've just been reading today, and I was meditating upon it, and that's Proverbs 3 5 to 6. Trust in the Lord with your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. And why these proverbs this morning is very important is because sometimes when you're going through financial challenges, when you're going through our business growth challenges, where we feel that our revenues are not matching our expenses, or the operational costs have just become too much, or even in your own home, when you think about your finances, stretching them throughout the whole month, you just feel like the math, honestly speaking, you have more expenses than you have income, and it can start to bog you down. But today, I really want to encourage you that when you go through these situations, the first step that you should take is learn to run to God. Learn to run to God. It's so easy for us to be able to run to our friends, run to our partners, maybe your husband, your wife, run to your your mother, your father, because you feel like, oh, I'm going through this 1,000 challenges. I need someone to help me. I need this and that to be accomplished in my life. But the encouragement this day that I want to share with you is that when you're going through these business challenges, when you're going through your financial challenges, learn to run to God. Learn to run to God first. Acknowledge that, you know what, there is a creator, and there's a creator who sees all that's happening in my business, all that's happening in my finances, and he knows that either there's what is it called, a recession in the economy, and so he can tell you and give you wisdom about what you can do. This just reminds me of the story of Joseph, because God knew that in 7 years there was going to be a great what is it called, drought, and or famine, and he knew this was going to come. He already knew. So God knew COVID was going to come. God knows maybe the borders are going to be closed. God knows maybe you're going to get a cut in your business revenues. So he already knows these challenges. But when you run to him, just as God delivered the solution to Joseph by telling him that, you know what, 7 years, at one time, 7 years, you're going to have a drought. But for now, for these 7 years, save up, put aside these funds. And even this reminds me, there's a story of a prophet in even the New Testament who knew that Jerusalem was going to be a famine. And so he asked the churches in the outside of Jerusalem to send a gift to Jerusalem, because this problem and this challenge was going to be there. And so for us, so many times we have to acknowledge God, because he's the overall, he sees. And when you learn to run to him, he can be able to direct your steps, guide you, and tell you, you know what, borders are being closed in the next 2 months. Maybe what you need to do is start looking for your clientele within the local market, instead of always maybe focusing on external markets. Maybe you need to create a product that can suit the internal market needs and demand. And the more you do this, the more that God just leads and guides you faithfully. The other thing is not leaning on your own understanding. You may hear that, you know what, prices are going to be hiked up, the cost of commodities are going to go up, and for you, naturally, that will mean, like, you know what, I need to start buying lower end brands. I need to start cutting down back on my lifestyle. That is your normal. I need to take up more debt. I need more fulizas. I need more mshwaris. I need more loans from the bank. And your normal understanding, your leaning on your own understanding, makes you start going through this loop of, what can I do to survive? What can I do to survive? But when you lean on that understanding, because sometimes what you lean on is just what you have been exposed to, what your environment has shed light on upon your life. But if you allow yourself to lean on an understanding that is faith based, on an understanding where someone else has gone through the same path as you, you are able to get breakthrough for that situation. So many times when we are in flight and fear mode, and that's when we're in panic mode, the decisions we make are always just survival and protection. And it's not bad to be in that state, but it doesn't usually work out for your benefit long term, because you have to think about the long term solution. This is such a short term challenge that has arisen. What about the long term view? And yes, that is what I wanted to encourage you. And lastly is to acknowledge the Lord in the difficult situations you're going through. So you've run to Him. You are now not leaning on your own understanding, but it's acknowledging God in this situation and crying out to Him and telling Him, Lord, you know what? My numbers are struggling. You know what? My finances is going through a challenge. And He will direct your steps. He will tell you, go into this city. It reminds me of this story where there were two beggars who are outside of the city, and the whole area had a drought. And I remember one of them telling the other beggar, let's go into the city and see what is going to happen. And as they went, an army attacked the Israel. I think it was Israel. Sorry, Aki, if you know the story, you can share on the in the comment section. But I remember when they went, I think the king had been told that tomorrow, flour today is going to cost, let's say it's costing 200. Tomorrow, flour is going to cost 20 bob. And in your mind and heart, there is no way you can believe that flour can cost 20 shillings, because you've been buying it from 100, 150, 200, now maybe even 250, as in the price has just been increasing. And for someone to tell you that the price will go down, you will be like, no. And you can even remember with the dollar, we never thought the dollar will start going down. We never thought oil prices will go down. So sometimes in your path, you might be thinking like this is the end of the situation, but when you acknowledge God in through your struggle, when you lean on Him, run to Him in your difficult situation, that challenge that seems so gigantic at the moment might actually be just a prayer away, might actually be a conversation away, may just be reading your word away. And as you cry out unto the Lord, as you seek out more wisdom from Him, He's going to lead and He's going to guide you and just show you the way to go thereof. So my encouragement to you this day is, the economy may be telling you that things are tough, but so was the dollar. I think when you were being told about the dollar rate, I think it was 4 or 5 months ago, it was so high. But here we are with our rates continually dropping and the shilling being strengthened against the dollar. So there's no situation that is not reversible. And you just need to learn to trust in the Lord. Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your steps. Have a lovely, lovely day ahead.